One of my first heroes wasn't Spider-Man or Batman. Well, I liked Superman, but was also Richard Feynman. And he told me that there is a big difference between knowing the name of something and knowing something. And that everything is interesting if you go into it just enough. Does Gregory enjoy hurting or killing animals? We don't know it. And we will never know it, because this is in Gregorys' head. And even if he says, no, I don't like killing animals, of course, we would believe the opposite. No matter what he says or does, we will always have doubts about him. And instead believe what we want to believe, because we have learned not to trust him. So to be fair to him, before we judge him, we have to take video number 1, 2, 3, and 4, put them together, and see what we have missed. And today, I'm going to show you what answers you get if you link all the dots. In a video titled Turtle Thoughts on the Onision channel, we can see how Gregory treats his pets for monetary gain. Now, don't get me wrong, that's okay. If you want to use your pets to make some money, that's fine, as far as you treat them with respect. Personally, every time I watch his videos, it's a kind of a struggle. He titled his video Turtle, and he also repeated that word all the times in all the other videos I watched. But this is actually a tortoise, not a turtle. More precisely, a Russian tortoise. And why is that relevant? Well, I'm gonna tell you in a second. Gregory, I know you're watching, and I know it because you blocked me on Twitter after I showed your tweets in my last video. But here is a first grade lesson only for you. Turtles swim. Tortoise run. Both are testudines, but from two very different families. This one lives 20-40 years, while this one lives between 80 and 150 years. The one you killed was supposed to live 40 years. You see, you try always so hard to look and sound so cultivated, and now you're taking English lessons from a foreigner. Now, apart from the silly commentary on that video, which is kind of funny sometimes, I have to admit it, Gregory does some very, very disrespectful things to his pet. Yet, in August the 14th, 2013, in a video titled Sad News, he says, "It sucks when you've just lost a pet that is really important to you, a pet that you care a lot about, and people just try to rip you apart." So let's assume that Gregory really loved his tortoise. Yet he lifts the tortoise off the ground and plays aeroplane with it. And Russian tortoise, that's why it was very important to know what kind of tortoise it was, are very frightened when they cannot feel the ground under their legs. Some of them even die because of the stress of it. But it's a mistake I can personally forgive. I had a tortoise when I was young, and I remember I used to make it fly, like Onision did, and it was funny, but I was 6. But the most disturbing things I've noticed in that video is when he placed the tortoise on a bin or something, and worse, inside a bin. Oh yeah, that's rubbish, garbage, whatever you want to call it. So that's how important that pet was to him, a pet he cared a lot about. Then we all know what happened to that tortoise. He died. Sorry, let's be honest. Let's Gregory things up here. That animal had a miserable life, placed inside a bin before being killed. While I was writing this episode, I had a careful look at his Sad News video and noticed something very, very common in sociopaths and psychopaths. I noticed that his eyes are emotionless, like glass. His mouth tells a sad story, but his eyes blink very, very slowly. The sign of a person that shows an attitude of patronizing superiority, called condescending eyes. But apart from that, in that video, his eyes have no expression. You might also notice him smirking from time to time, which is kind of creepy. So I encourage you to watch the video the same way I did. Turn off the volume, cover his mouth, and look at his eyes. Those are not the eyes of a person that is telling a sad story. So, whose eyes are those? According to FBI profilers, the National PTA Congress, psychiatric professionals and law enforcement officials, people who hurt animals may eventually direct violence towards humans. So, any form of cruelty towards animals is considered one of the 3 symptoms that predicts the development of a sociopath. This reminds me of someone. Correct, because this is something we've seen in Gregory multiple times, and we have already talked about this. Things that most people rate as unbearable to watch were his videos, directed in his head and edited by his hands. We cannot say that Gregory enjoys killing animals, nor that he enjoys hurting people, but we know that he has no empathy when someone is in distress. We've seen him how he judges people for the way they look, no matter what the consequences of his words might be. He simply doesn't understand what he's doing. Maybe to compensate his lack of education, he truly believes now to be a psychologist and rationalizes his actions to his convenience. Oh, I help people. Maybe he really enjoys it. Who knows? But we know that many of his actions are considered antisocial. According to the Mayo Clinic, a non-profit research medical group based in Minnesota, a child develops antisocial personality disorder symptoms when his family environment is unbalanced. And they become fully evident for most people in their 20s and 30s. That's right about the same time Gregory started YouTubing. So it seems that Gregory is mommy's little boy. But mommy wasn't always sure about that. What mother would hit her son with a battery light? And what son would get into a physical fight with his mother? As Gregory told us in a video titled "Reasons I've Punched Assaulted People, Self-Defense." Probably a mother having a really bad time, a nervous breakdown, not her fault. But that definitely had an impact on Gregory's head. And we also know from a video titled "Why I Refuse to Talk to My Dad" that Gregorys Father, a pastor, a man of faith, he's accused of being a pedophile, a person that molests children. In his words, "I don't talk to my father anymore for a number of reasons, but the main reasons revolve around the fact that he is accused of molesting people that I care for. Maybe part of the reason that he has been doing those things is because allegedly he was violated as a child." And we have also learned from the same video that Gregory kicked his father in the face. So, as much as he wants you to believe that he's a peaceful person, when you take all these videos together, they tell you something different. And this is considered an unbalanced family, an unhealthy family environment. So, was the death of that tortoise left for an hour and a half under a container an accident? If you consider all the things that Gregory has done to other human beings, the body shaming, humiliations, discrediting campaigns, manipulations, taking advantages of minors for monetary gain, and his family background, it's fair to assume that accident was not an accident. Who leaves an animal under a container for an hour and a half? Could a self-proclaimed sort of misunderstood genius, well-educated, self-appointed, most honest YouTuber forget or not predict the outcome of such action? That's hard to believe. So, maybe he doesn't enjoy killing animals. He just doesn't care. Gregory's videos are very personal. Those are not just videos. Those are pieces of a puzzle. You put all those pieces together and you have a picture. So, who are we going to believe now? Well, that's hard. I think the best question we should ask ourselves is why are so many people reporting awful things about this man? Can all these claims be fake? Do you remember when in a video titled "Get a Job Onision" he said, "It was a trade-off. An actress I worked with, Madison de Cambria, took 2 guinea pigs that we had, and we went towards getting a puppy. At first, I thought that Madison Jana de Cambria gave him a dog in exchange for those 2 guinea pigs. So I went to check the Cambria's social accounts, and I could not find any reference to dogs. Yet, a trade-off involves losing one amount of something in return for gaining another amount of something else." And then I found this post on the Cambria's Facebook account, saying, "So Evelyn and I got guinea pigs. 2 cuties. I've only ever had rats before, so I'm trying to learn as much as I can about taking care of guinea. Any advice is appreciated." And down below, she replied to a friend saying, "I didn't buy the guinea. I took them in from someone who didn't want them." That means that the trade-off Gregory did was simply replacing 2 animals for 1. He gave away his guinea pigs because he didn't want them anymore, because he never had a real attachment. And he also talked about ongoing demand for a puppy by his kids, meaning that he never actually satisfied that demand for his kids until he saw a monetary gain, because that was a business move. So he gave away 2 guinea pigs that cost roughly $900 a year for a dog gotten from Craigslist, as Lenny told us in a video titled "We Got a New Puppy." That cost about $1,500 per year. That's their 3rd dog. Will the dog die? I don't think so. I don't think so, because now there is Lenny and his kids looking after it. Gregory is mama's little boy. He needs a babysitter. He needs someone that looks after him, that corrects his mistakes. In his broken family, he allegedly couldn't take care of the 2 dogs. The same way, he was never able to take proper care of his partners and had to humiliate them all the times they broke up. He needs to lay the blame on other people. Girlfriends, friends, YouTube, TurboTax. He even talked about starting a Kickstarter campaign to pay off his debts. He doesn't understand the meaning of the word responsibility. Maybe he never looked it up in a dictionary, because we know that he does that all the time. Maybe that guy that claims to be Gregorys' friend is right. Maybe his mother bailed him out so many times that now Gregory is unable to take the responsibilities, and anything touches fails. So now that we have a better picture of this corner of Gregorys' puzzle, the questions are they really in such a financial trouble? A 3rd dog? What's Gregorys' business? How does he operate his business? Why are the people that work for him then turn against him?